Hello guys, welcome to week 4 of the semester, the summer term. We're halfway through already, which is great. So this week we are only doing the midterm exam. There's no module to do, there's no quiz, there's no analysis paper. What you are doing though is the midterm exam, which is essentially a broader analysis paper than what we've been doing. You're given a question about a very broad question covering the material that we've been going over for modules 1 through 3. And you're in charge of answering that question in any way you see fit. There's no minimum page length. There's no sort of restrictions on like what sources you can use or anything. What basically you will want to look at the question, which is, basically the question is, was the American Revolution a good and just war, or was it bad and treasonous and a breakdown of law and order against Great Britain? There's no right or wrong answer to that question. I suspect, a lot of us growing up in the United States, we feel a certain way about American history, but I don't want you to feel like you have to write this grand patriotic account of like why. I mean, you absolutely can. If you want to make an argument for why the American Revolution was a good and just thing, absolutely feel free to do so. But I don't want you to, there's no right or wrong answer. I don't want you to feel like you have to answer in that vein to do a good job on this essay. You can absolutely write that the American Revolution was this the surrendering of Enlightenment ideals, and that the butchering of the Native Americans and blah, 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 all these things were a bad thing. I'm just curious as to the main thing I want to see is how well can you make an argument one way or another? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a right or wrong answer that's like, trying to like aimed at what the professor wants. Like, ultimately, it doesn't matter to me what side you take as long as you make a convincing case for why you chose that side. So you'll want to pull from the textbook readings that we've been doing for weeks 1 through 3. You absolutely should be using the historical documents we've been using for modules 1 through 3 as well. Don't use any outside sources, just stick with the textbook and the historical documents, okay? And I want to see how well you guys can use this body of evidence to make a case for why the American Revolution was either a good thing or a bad thing, or a fulfillment of its ideals or not. So that's all you have to do for week 4. Again, I'm keeping there's no page length minimum. There's no, you have to use 5 sources minimum, there's nothing like that. Like, it's just how well can you use the materials on hand to structure an essay. That's all you have to do. The prompt is on Blackboard already. It's due by Friday, the end of Friday for week 4, right before the 4th of July weekend. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. While I'm thinking about it, you do want to structure the essay the same way that you've been doing the analysis papers. Like, you want to use like, put your name on top, the course and all that. An intro, body, conclusion. You will want to use cite your sources in parentheses after, each time you use them. And by and large, you guys have been doing a really good job of that. So essentially, the analysis papers have been practice for the midterm exam. Trying to think if there's anything else you need to know. It doesn't have to be a certain length. I think I've mentioned that. It doesn't have to be a certain length or anything like that. I just want to see how well you guys can structure an argument with evidence to answer the question. Okay? And I'll be grading if you can meet that bar of like, I've made a good faith argument one way or another to answer the prompts. I'll be grading these things pretty generously, I think. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, it should be a fairly straightforward week. There's no quiz, there's no analysis paper, it's just the midterm essay. And you can find it on Blackboard. All right, let me know if you have any questions, guys. In the meantime, enjoy this sweltering hot weather we have coming up on us. All right, bye.